Hello students, welcome back to the biology class. So in the last class we continued the 22nd chapter, chemical coordination and integration, and we discussed in detail about the adrenal gland. We learned in the last class that this gland is a double gland because it has two portions synthesizing and secreting two different types of hormones. The outer portion of this gland is called as the cortex, and the hormones which come out from here are called as the corticosteroidal hormones, and the inner portion is called as the medulla, and it synthesizes the hormones which are involved in the case of emergency. We learned in the last class that the outer portion is mesodermal in origin and the inner portion is ectodermal in origin. Each adrenal gland, because there is a pair of the glands, so we learned in the last class it fits over the upper end of the kidney. Therefore, these glands are also called as suprarenal glands, and the cortex is divisible into three portions: zona glomerulosa, the outermost portion; zona fasciculata, the middle portion; and zona reticularis, the inner portion. We learned in the last class that this gland is called as 4S gland because it is involved with the sex and salt, stress, as well as sugar controlling hormones. And the second thing is, this gland is also called as 3F gland because it releases a hormone which is 3F hormone, and that hormone is involved during the fight, flight and fright of situations. We learned in the last class that the hormones which come out from the three portions of the cortical region are mineralocorticoid, which are released from the zona glomerulosa, the outermost part. The second one is glucocorticoid, which come out from the middle, that is the zona fasciculata, and the sex or gonadocorticoid, which come out from the innermost, the zona reticularis. We learned that the electrolyte and water balance in the body, in the sweat, saliva, bile and urine is all controlled by the mineralocorticoid, and the main mineralocorticoid is the aldosterone. And we learned that the deficiency of this hormone can cause Addison's disease, and excess of this hormone can lead to the Conn syndrome or the aldosteronism. The glucocorticoid are involved with the gluconeogenesis. It causes more amount of sugar to be formed from lipids and proteins, and then it also causes the breakdown of lipid called as lipolysis and the breakdown of proteins called as the proteolysis. We learned that it inhibits the cellular uptake of the amino acids, and the main hormone in this is the cortisol. And we learned that this hormone is also involved in coping with the stressful condition. It is anti-allergic and anti-inflammatory, and deficiency of this hormone creates more problem in the Addison's disease, and excess of this hormone can cause Cushing's syndrome. The third zone, the zona reticularis, the innermost zone, releases the sex or the gonadocorticoids, and these are involved with the external sexual characters, as well as it is also involved with the release of the androgen and estrogen, and the excessive production of this hormone may cause the too much of hairy growth in the case of the female, which is called as the virilism. The medullary portion is linked with the sympathetic neural system, and it releases two catecholamines, and these hormones are adrenaline and noradrenaline, and that's why this gland is also called as the emergency gland, because it is involved with the 3F, that is the fight, fright and flight. Now in today's class we will start with the new topic, and that is the pancreas. So let's first of all quickly go through the NCERT. NCERT says pancreas is a composite gland which acts as both exocrine as well as the endocrine gland. Some books will say it is a heterocrine gland. It is also correct. So it can be called as a composite gland or a heterocrine gland. And the endocrine pancreas consists of isles of Langerhans, and there are 1 to 2 million isles of Langerhans in each in a normal human pancreas, representing only just 1 to 2% of the pancreatic tissue. So isles of Langerhans constitute lesser proportion. That means endocrine portion is less compared to exocrine portion in the case of the pancreas. And the two main types of cells in these isles of Langerhans are alpha cells and the beta cells. The alpha cells secrete a hormone called as glucagon, and the beta cells synthesize and secrete the hormone called as insulin. Glucagon is a peptide hormone, and it plays an important role in the maintaining the normal blood sugar level. Glucagon acts mainly on the liver cells, that means the hepatocytes, and stimulates the glycogenolysis, resulting in the increasing the sugar level, that is the hyperglycemia. And in addition, this hormone stimulates the process of gluconeogenesis, which also contributes to the hyperglycemia. Glucagon reduces the cellular glucose uptake and utilization, that's it is a hyperglycemic hormone. Now insulin is a peptide hormone same to the glucagon, but it plays a major role in regulation of the glucose homeostasis. It acts on the hepatocytes and the adipocytes and enhances the cellular glucose uptake and burning. As a result, there is a rapid movement of glucose from blood to the liver cells and the fat cells, resulting in the decreased blood sugar level, that means hypoglycemia. Insulin also stimulates the conversion of glucose to glycogen, so glycogenesis in the target cell, and the glucose homeostasis in the blood is thus maintained by both of these hormones. Prolonged hyperglycemia leads to complex disorders like diabetes mellitus. That means the insulin dependent glucose increase problem, which is called as the sugar problem, which is associated with the loss of glucose through the urine and formation of harmful compounds such as the ketone bodies. We have learned this already in the kidneys chapter regarding the glucosuria and the ketosuria, and diabetic patients are successfully treated with the insulin therapy.